Well, I actually was invited by Mary Thunder. It was a group of elders that went to Australia and over there to share and to learn, and we all went together. Dream time is that moment of creation of everything, not just this planet, but everything. And the Aborigines hold that energy, that frequency of everything. And for them, that's the only real reality, because everything else is simply a manifestation of that creation. And in the book, I'd like to just read to you the one paragraph, or the two paragraphs. Dream time is a time when all life, everything was created. Not, like I said, not just this earth. The stories about dream time and how the universe and human beings and the galaxy were created and how they live within this world, how that's all connected. So the Aborigines are holding that dream time, and they have said that there'll come a time when they do not pass that information on, because that information will move within each one of us so that we understand that we're the rivers, we're the trees, we're the stars, we're the moon, we're the sun, we're the earth, that we are everything. And then we will be holding the dream time, all of those people who choose to walk that way. They're still holding it as far as I know, but it is a different concept. It's they don't worry about things happening here, because they know here is like a drop in the ocean. I don't know how else to describe it, except that they hold all of that knowledge, everything. And here's what they told me. It is the past, present, and future of everything, all happening at once. It is the beginning that never ends, and it is a way to live. So when someone passes from this earth, and what we say, walk the rainbow bridge, they're still a part of that dream time. They're still in that I'm trying to think of something that's not separated. It's such a concept. It's such a big concept that unless you experience it, it's hard to imagine it. But every piece of it is important. Every person is important, every tree. And you can't destroy it. Pieces of it can leave or be destroyed. But dream time continues. I guess in a scientific explanation, you might be talking about dark matter, where everything is created in quantum physics out of dark matter. That's the closest thing I can think of, but even dream time goes beyond dark matter. Well, sometimes we think we've healed something, but as I talk about that spiral, that we may have healed it here, as we evolve, it comes back up here. And so it's a long trip to Australia. They had forgotten to pick us up at the airport. I had gotten there, and we were staying at a woman's house until she could drive us out to the gathering the next morning. I was exhausted. The only thing I wanted to do was sleep. And in walks Rose. Now, Rose is a highly respected elder. And she came in with bedroom slippers and a flowery dress and a hat on her head with an artificial flower in it. And she began to treat me just like my mother had treated me, putting me down, demanding that I do things, creating situations where there was no way to go except to fail. And I immediately began to feel all these feelings of anger and fear that I thought were gone, you know. But as we moved forward and I got to know Rose, I realized that she had given me a great gift, because once again, I remembered I was enough. I was enough. That it didn't matter what other people thought of me or how other people treated me. That dream time had created me, and that's what I was connected to. Actually, it didn't happen in Australia. After the trip, Mackie came back to the United States to teach. And so I was traveling with him near to my home, and we went to a house, and it had an upstairs. Now, Mackie weighed about 400 pounds, and he was from New Zealand. In New Zealand and in Hawaii, oftentimes the sacred people are very heavy. So he was over here in the United States, and they had put him upstairs. Why they put him upstairs when he had to go up and down those steps? But there were people sleeping on the floor and on the couch and every place, and I was sleeping on the couch. And I hear him coming down the steps, and I'm thinking, I'm going to pray that he makes it all the way down the steps. So he comes down, and he comes over to the couch, and he sits down. The problem was he sat on my chest, and I couldn't breathe. So I have 400 pounds sitting on my chest. And I said, Mackie, get off, I can't breathe. So he moves some, and he says, Sister, I have to talk to you about something. I said, what? He says, all these women are eating for me, and they haven't asked permission. He says, I talked about it and I taught them how to do it, but I didn't ask them to eat for me. And he says, what do I do? He says, I'm gaining so much weight because they're all eating for me and sending me that, that energy. And I said, Mackie, let them know that you don't do anything for an elder, especially, nor for anyone else, unless you ask permission. So, unless I ask you specifically to pray, and what I want you to pray for, then I don't allow people to pray for me. Because many people, when they pray, will pray for the healing of the person. And of course, when you pray for the healing, you're praying for something that's wrong. Where when you pray for me, what I prefer you pray is for me to remember my perfection as Creator created me. Which is a whole different concept than trying to get rid of something. Trying to get rid of something is almost going to war with something. And all of my teachers and the medicine men, curanderos, all of them, they didn't go to war. They would talk with the problem, if there was one, and they would pull in the energy of creation. Because sometimes when you heal someone, you are messing up their karma. For instance, the scientist that's in the wheelchair, what's his name? Anyway, everybody knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Someone asking, doesn't it bother you, you're in a wheelchair and you can't talk? And he said, no. This is the way I'm supposed to be, because my imagination and the things that I see couldn't happen if I was distracted. I don't have any favorite. Each one was different. Each one taught me. Each one was a blessed experience. But remember, it's only because I listened. I didn't plan Australia. I never planned a vacation to any place. I get up every morning, I take my water out and I pray with it. And I say to Spirit, how can I be of service today? What would you like me to do?
And the answer always comes.
It always comes in some form or another. You know, whether it's a free ticket or whether it's an invite to go someplace, or it doesn't matter. And I just don't say no.
How could you say no to blessings?
Yeah, right. So that's been my experiences, and you know, Spirit only chose a few places from all the many places I've gone. So, but it was enough. It was enough for people to realize that no matter how much you imagine, there's more behind that. You know, there's such a sacredness through everything. Every breath you take, everything you look at, everything you see, everything you imagine, you know, it's all there. It's all that dream time. Yes. I'd like to end by reading one of the portals in the book. And because it was the one that, after Spirit dictated it, the one that I am still working on to understand and internalize. What if darkness was the real light, and the light was what blinded us? The darkness is the void and holds all possibilities. If we are not careful, the light can dissolve us. It is within the balance of these two that love exists.